Thank you for tuning into another video from JRM Recaps. Spoilers ahead. The film begins with former UN Representative Gerry Lane, his significant other Karen, and their two girls, Rachel and Constance, awakening and partaking in a family breakfast. Gerry tells Constance, the youngest girl, that he quit working at the UN to have more time with the family. On the television is a news story about hardship and talk of possible martial law. Afterward, they sit in terrible Philadelphia traffic when the city is attacked by a swarm of zombies. These attackers move rapidly, biting individuals, and the bitten are turned quickly. The Lanes crash their car during the stampede of panicked people, and Gerry notices it takes roughly 12 seconds for a bitten individual to change. As the pandemonium spreads, the Lanes escape from the city in an RV they stole. They stop close to Newark, New Jersey at a large grocery store where Karen loads up on any food she can find. Gerry is able to find some medicine when his oldest daughter, Rachel, experiences a very bad asthma attack because of the shock and stress of what has been going on. His wife is then attacked by looters. Gerry shoots one of them and they let Karen go. For a small moment, it looks as if a cop might arrest Gerry regardless of his holding a rifle over his head. However, the official is just searching for supplies himself. Outside the store, the family takes safety in an apartment building in Newark. Deputy Secretary General Thierry Mutoni, a close buddy of Gerry's, calls and lets the family know that he is sending a helicopter to rescue them, but it will take until the following morning to show up. The Lanes hide in a little loft with a Latino family. One of the kids, a boy named Tomas, communicates in English and translates for the Lanes. Gerry thinks that the greatest chance of survival is to keep on the move, but can't persuade Tomas's family to leave with them. The following morning, the Lanes creep through a mostly deserted apartment building attempting to find the rooftop. However, the undead sense them and they are chased to the rooftop. They track down Tomas on the way. At the point when Gerry is attacked by a few zombies, they spew blood on him. Showing up on the rooftop, Gerry moves toward the edge, prepared to hurl himself off on the off chance that the blood spilled on his face causes him to turn. He does not, and in the wake of holding off another crowd of the undead, the family gets into the helicopter and escapes. The chopper brings the Lanes to a U.S. naval aircraft carrier very close to New York City with an entire gathering of different displaced people. On the ship, there is a group of researchers and military staff examining the extent of the worldwide outbreak. Thierry is there waiting for them and sets them up with bunks. A virologist, Dr. Andrew Fastback, contends that the plague has been brought about by a virus, whose origin must be discovered for a vaccine to be created. Due to his skill as a previous UN investigator, Gerry is tasked with assisting Fastback with tracking down the outbreak source. Gerry hesitantly consents to help, on the given word that his family will be protected, and is shipped off to Camp Humphreys, a military installation in South Korea, where an email was received around 11 days earlier that said the outbreak may have begun there. Minutes after showing up at the base, Gerry's group is rushed by zombies. The terrified and faint-hearted Fastback is killed after shooting himself by accident, while slipping on the ramp of the C-130 plane. The discharge alerts the zombies wandering nearby, compelling Gerry and the team to run. In the wake of being rescued by the base's surviving personnel, Gerry discovers that the zombies are drawn to noise. The soldiers on the base, led by Captain Speak, make sense that a Korean soldier had been researching out in the field when he was attacked and turned. His transformation took much more time than what had been seen more recently. The dead body of the infected man attacked the base doctor and both were burned. Speak lets Gerry know how one of his men was able to remain in the center of the infected swarm and was not attacked. At the point when Gerry asks the soldier, who strolls with a slight limp, how his leg was injured, the soldier lets him know that something has been bothering him lately. Gerry converses with an ex-CIA agent, Hafner, who had been captured for offering arms to North Korea. He tells Gerry a chilling record of how the North Korean government had the ability to contain the outbreak in their nation by pulling the teeth of each and every resident inside a 24-hour time frame, giving its residents no real way to infect each other through bites. Hafner advises Gerry to go to Jerusalem, where the Israeli Mossad had laid out a protected zone not long before the outbreak was formally recognized, inferring Israel could have had prior information on what was to come. To get the C-130 refueled and Gerry on board, Speke's men ride on a group of bikes to try not to make any noise. Gerry's satellite telephone goes off when Karen attempts to call him and the undead attack. They successfully refuel the plane and Gerry and the C-130 pilot manage to get away. In Jerusalem, Gerry meets with the head of Mossad, Jürgen Wurmbrunn, who makes sense that the Mossad had months earlier heard correspondences from a military general in India, who expressed that Indian soldiers were battling the Rakshasa, or dead spirits. Wurmbrunn additionally makes sense of how the focal point of Jerusalem was walled in, and the wall is impressive, something like 50 feet high, and displaced people are being taken to the quarantine zone, including non-Jews and Muslims. While Gerry speaks with Jürgen, a gathering of Muslim refugees start to sing happily due to tracking down a safe zone to live in for now. One of the ladies finds a microphone and the singing becomes louder. Drawn to the singing, the zombies outside start to climb the defensive wall, forming an enormous mound that with time is able to enter the city. While escaping, Gerry sees that an elderly person and an extremely thin kid are overlooked by the zombies. A young Israeli woman soldier, Segan, Gerry's escort, is bitten by a zombie. Gerry rapidly cuts off her hand to stop the spread of the virus, counting up to 12 until he's certain that she will not turn. Gerry and Segan at last come to the air terminal and figure out how to board a Belarus Airways plane after Gerry's pilot freaks out and takes off. Reaching Thierry, Gerry inquires where the closest WHO or CDC-type lab is. They are redirected to a WHO research office in Cardiff, Wales. While in the air, a stowaway zombie is set free from the freight hold and goes after an airline steward. She attacks the rest of the other travelers. The plane crashes close to Cardiff after Gerry explodes a grenade to eliminate the zombies. Segan and Gerry continue as the only apparent survivors of the accident. Gerry has been pierced by a piece of metal. Segan finds him and they venture to Cardiff and track down the WHO office. Out of contact, the US Navy believes he is dead and ousts his family to Nova Scotia. After showing up at the office, Gerry drops at the entryway and wakes up 3 days later bound to a gurney. His injury has been dealt with and bandaged. He is able to persuade the staff of the office that he's there on a specific mission. The men watching him call his significant other's satellite telephone. Thierry picks up the telephone and lets Gerry know that his family were thought of as non-essential and were moved to a land-based facility. Gerry is mad, however Thierry confirms Gerry's identity to the skeptical WHO staff. Gerry explains a hypothesis to the cautious researchers that he saw an elderly person and a sickly kid in Jerusalem that were disregarded. He also saw a homeless drunk momentarily in Newark that the zombies avoided, and the story of the soldier with a limp which the zombies overlooked. The contaminated do not bite individuals who are seriously hurt or already terminally ill, since they would be unacceptable as hosts for viral reproduction. He volunteers to infuse himself with a terminal however treatable pathogen to check whether his plan works. But the wing of the structure in which the pathogens are kept was overwhelmed by zombies after a doctor unintentionally infected himself. Gerry chooses to proceed to gather a pathogen in any case, while Segan and one of the WHO doctors follow him for reinforcement. They battle their way through the zombies, and Gerry at long last gets to the pathogen vault. Inside, Gerry fills a little box with vials of pathogens from 2 separate cupboards. The scientists watch him on camera, commenting that the left cupboard contains extremely dangerous and terminal infections. Gerry prepares to leave and sees one of the undead doctors outside. Cornered and without a reasonable weapon, he chooses to infuse himself to check whether his hypothesis will work. He shows the researchers a note saying, "Tell my family I love them," and picks a vial at random from the case. Gerry holds a moment and then opens the door for the vault. The former doctor overlooks him and Gerry can leave, past the swarm of zombies that have invaded the office. After he returns to the safeguarded area of the office, everybody celebrates his hypothesis' success, and the doctors cure him of the pathogen. Gerry gets back to his family, in a protected zone in Freeport, Nova Scotia. A vaccine made from deadly pathogens is created that can work as camouflage for the soldiers fighting the zombies. Airdrops are performed, bringing the pathogen to all areas of the planet. Human offensives start against the zombies, and hope is re-established. Russia is especially effective in stopping the pandemic with military and regular citizen forces. Gerry remarks, "This isn't the end. Not even close." Thank you for watching our recap. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe for future videos. Also, try some of our other videos displayed on screen.